I think if we want to save what's underwater, people need to experience what's underwater, because if you don't know what's down there, you don't know what needs saving. You go diving, you have fun, and you go on an adventure. It takes you places. You don't. Sometimes you feel like you want to go diving, but I guess it's the same as like you want to go surfing, or you want to go do any other activity. It's just another activity that happens to be fairly unique and can take you to pretty unexplored and remote places without having to go very far. You know, not having to drive 6 hours to Kosciuszko to walk multiple hours into the Alps to get into the middle of nowhere. You can just go off the beach and you're in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty cool because kids don't know what they don't know. So you can take them on a dive that for someone that might have done some diving isn't great, but they're still going to froth it because it's a new experience for them. And it's something that they definitely haven't experienced before. Even snorkeling doesn't come close. You know, you're seeing things from a top down as opposed to being in and amongst it. So it's pretty cool experience to be able to take kids and give them that opportunity.
I think it's important for kids to find out what's out there. I think they grow up in their own environment. Some can get very sheltered, can get very comfortable where they are, and I think it's sometimes good to put a bit of perspective on kids, what they perceive in the world. So I think it's important for them to go outside their little comfort zone, and to go in the ocean I think is a real eye-opener for them to see exactly what is out there and what else they can achieve.
Sophia, I'm 13, I babysit, like any small jobs, and I play a lot of sports, netball, touch, Oztag. I don't know, I just like it. It's like a different world. It's like I feel like a mermaid. It's like Ariel, you're under the sea. I mean, it's cool, the different creatures, I guess. Just to learn something new. Well, yeah, kind of. Most people don't really like it because of sharks and all that. If be nice to it, it'll be nice to you. I'm thinking I'm going to get, like, eaten or something, bitten by, like, something. You know, stingrays just go, what's it called? Sting you. Don't they sting you? It's something different. It's nice to try something new. 50-50 chance, because I could get bitten, but then I couldn't. And if I don't, I'd probably be more lenient to go again. And if I do, I won't be. It's going to be different, definitely different. It was actually really good. It felt very relaxing though, because like I didn't have to hold any weight. It's like I was just holding a feather. It was really fun. It was amazing. It was amazing. Terrific. I mean, I was scared I was going to get stung by a stingray, but I saw them and they didn't sting me. They just left me. I saw an eel. Just thought that was going to bite me, but it didn't. It's like it literally is a different world. It's like a different place. They definitely need to try it. Explaining it is too hard. It's better to just give it a try and really, what's it called? Experience it by yourself. Yeah, it's better doing that instead of getting people to tell you. Getting people to tell you is kind of... It was weird because every time I went to go try to breathe through my nose, like the goggles would block it, and it was just like weird because it's like breathing through my mouth. And at first it was kind of weird because I wasn't used to it, but it's actually not that hard and it's actually pretty fun. It's like once you do it, you got to keep doing it because you can't stop it. It's just too good to stop. Yeah.
The biggest fear for me was the kids growing up in Sydney, in the metropolis. That was the biggest fear for me. I didn't want them also growing up in that environment where I'm bored, and they're stuck in front of a gaming console, stuck in front of their phones. We moved up here for a better life for the kids. Their interactions with each other, their interactions with our environment. It's important because then they realise, it's like some kids, you look at fish, oh well, it comes from a fridge in the supermarket. They don't realise it comes from the ocean. That's where you got to get it from. They need to understand, hopefully when they get onto this, all kids should get into it, then they can understand sustainable living. We're part of an ecosystem where we're all reliant on each other.
Oh, diving. Thought it was going to be hard. It wasn't really that hard. It was very different. It was nice seeing all like the different creatures. And, like, it shows. I didn't even know some of them, but it was still cool to look at. Shows that we actually need to look after it. Because if we don't, then it's sure just going to disappear. It's sure going to die. It's going to look ugly.
You see a dog every day, but the first people that saw a dog were probably like, oh my god, this is amazing. I think it's the same idea. You go underwater, you've never seen a blue groper swimming around. A blue groper is like a large dog, basically underwater. So it's a very new experience, something alien that you've only really seen at most, probably on the TV or behind glass at the aquarium. There's a little bit of anxiety usually to begin with, where they're not quite sure what's going on. But then as soon as you get underwater and they're not thinking about anything anymore, they're just focused on what's in front of them, they end up just frothing it. And you can see the excitement and the happiness and the smiles on their face by the time you get out and you're talking about all the things that they saw. Especially today when Sophia saw the groper, she just lost it. Like, that was the best thing that I think she's ever seen. Yeah, one of the biggest things people say is I had no idea there was so much under the water so close to shore, especially when you dive somewhere like, I mean, even today at Little Beach, we're right in the middle of Nelson Bay and you're suddenly in a completely different environment. It's nothing like the houses and shops and, you know, hustle and bustle of town that's not even 100 meters away. You're in a sandy foreshore environment surrounded by fish and rays and corals and kelp, and you can see some influences of what's built up around it, but the underwater environment has taken that over, like the remains of the pier that we dove over, that are covered in soft corals and fish and things like that.
Best experience of my life. One of the best experiences ever. Yeah. I actually felt like a mermaid. I did.